We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginnings to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Okay, enough of that. Good morning. How's everybody doing? You know what time it is, right? Right now it is about 7:07 in the morning, right here in the great city of Montgomery, Alabama. I'm actually trying to get this new microphone, a place where I can don't have to look like I'm eating it. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. It is a great day, and always when you get up every morning, you say, first of all, say thank you, God, for still being here. Secondly, say it is a great day, an outstanding day to be alive. Okay, so let's not get it twisted now. You know, it wasn't promised. Okay, so good morning to you, and you know what time it is this time of morning, right? You know what? Okay, we have to go to our daily bread. That's the way we start our day. We start our day that way because nothing happens. Nothing happens without the blessings of the good Lord for us still being here. So we always have to give thankful for that. And no matter where you find yourself this morning or today or tomorrow, no matter where you find yourself, there's always somebody else who has it worse than you. So kick off the doldrums. Enjoy this day. You're still on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of you. I'd say that's something to be thankful for. It is a great day to be alive. Oh, yeah. The daily bread and other episodes. I mean, make sure we get there now. There we go. There we go. Okay, I'll be right back. So y'all hang loose, and we'll be back in a couple seconds here. We got to get the word from on high. Something that'll change your perspective. I'll give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. Say good morning to my son down there in Fort Gordon, Georgia. Eisenhower, whichever you want to call it, this morning. Be courageous, my son. Be courageous. There ain't much room for cowards. We'll be back.
Willingness to seek reconciliation with others shows God's heart to them. Our Daily Bread. Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Po Fong Chia. Thom Dashu sensed something was missing in his life, so he started going to church, the same church his daughter attended, but they never went together. In earlier days, he had offended her, which drove a wedge between them. So Thom would slip in when the singing started and leave promptly after the service ended. Church members shared the gospel story with him, but Thom always politely rejected their invitation to put his faith in Jesus. Still, he kept coming to church. One day Thom fell gravely ill. His daughter plucked up the courage and wrote him a letter. She shared how Christ had changed her life, and she sought reconciliation with her dad. That night, Thom put his faith in Jesus, and the family was reconciled. A few days later, Thom died and entered into the presence of Jesus, at peace with God and his loved ones. The Apostle Paul wrote that we are to try to persuade others about the truth of God's love and forgiveness. He said that it is Christ's love that compels us to carry out his work of reconciliation. Our willingness to forgive may help others realize that God desires to reconcile us to himself. Would you lean on God's strength to show them his love today?
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 11 through 21. Since, then, we know what it is to fear the Lord, we try to persuade others. What we are is plain to God, and I hope it is also plain to your conscience. We are not trying to commend ourselves to you again, but are giving you an opportunity to take pride in us, so that you can answer those who take pride in what is seen rather than in what is in the heart. If we are out of our mind, as some say, it is for God. If we are in our right mind, it is for you. For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. So from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. All this is from God, who reconciled us to himself through Christ, and gave us the ministry of reconciliation, that God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them. And he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. That's today's scripture reading from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 11 through 21.
Let's pray. Lord, I pray that you'd help us to desire peace with other people, that we would admit when we've made a mistake, and that we would be quick to forgive when others admit their fault to us. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Without all this great freedom we have, at least a little bit we got left, we wouldn't have. Yeah, so let us, each generation has the responsibility to safeguard that freedom against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine in the great city of Montgomery, Alabama. And again, I can't say it enough. It's a great day to be alive. Hey, Anyway, good morning, Maxwell and Gunner. It's time to rise and shine. I know the Air Force doesn't get up till about 8 o'clock, but, maybe we just call down for coffee. But after all, this is an Air Force town. Yes, it is. I must remember that sometime. It's not Fort Benning or Fort Rucker. They renamed Fort Rucker something like that. Is it Fort Novocaine or Lidocaine or something like that? And last but certainly not least, they call them Devil Dog and a few other names. But the United States Marine Corps. Good morning, Jarheads. Hey, got a sponsor for the show. Got to tell you about that later. Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Space Force. Don't forget. Oh, yes. Okay, then. Good morning. I got a lot of things to talk about today. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we are going to have C.C. Calhoun, who is the chairman of the Montgomery City Council. See, I'm going to have to be a little tough on him today because I watched the meeting last night, and I don't really watch it much anymore because most of the time it's much to do about nothing. They did pass the budget. Was it $383 million? Now, we all know where the money comes from, right? We all know the money comes from us, okay? High taxes, whatever the case may be. Now, I don't want to pay any more tax. I'm on a limited income. I can't afford to pay a lot of taxes. But I do know that whatever we do, whatever we want to do, we got to pay for it. That's why I think we ought to get that commuter tax around here. I don't know why Reed Ingram and those guys won't bring it to the table. We got 25 cities in Alabama that have what we call a occupational tax or commuter tax, whichever one you want to call it. We got 25 cities, and we got a few of them around us. And I just, for the life of me, I can't figure. Listen, nobody wants to pay more tax. Let's just be honest. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. Okay, nobody does. Nobody does. But every time I go to the store and eggs are gone up, I got to pay for them if I want the eggs. Now, if I don't want the eggs, then I just leave them on the thing right there and go outside and see if I can find the chicken and squeeze them for an egg. Okay, if I want the egg, but if we want the eggs, okay, we got to pay. If we want good services, you won't get a commuter tax. Well, and I understand, but the problem is it's called a commuter tax, right? It's called a commuter, but everybody in Montgomery pays it. So it is not just the people who come here, but if we don't do that, then they get to come here, use our streets and everything, put wear and tear on our thoroughfares, and stuff like that, and don't pay anything. Okay, they put garbage in our garbage cans. They don't pay anything to get rid of it. So I'm willing to sacrifice, and it's only 1%. And if you itemize, you get the money all back anyway off your taxes. So it's 1%. We need one though. Okay. We need one. We need to get that money. Now I don't know. Now today I'm going to ask the councilman, chairman of the council, Mr. Calhoun, because somebody telling me that we got $8 million in the budget for Whitewater. Now, I'm all for whitewater. I'm all for whitewater, but I thought the county came up with this. Elton Dean them came up with this. I mean, they should have the preponderance of the responsibility to pay for it. I mean, y'all came up. I think it's a good idea, but they're the ones who should pay for it. Okay. I mean, don't you agree? Let me put the number here. I forgot how. Okay. So is my phone thing? Yeah, okay, it's all good. Okay, it's all good. Now this is a podcast, live podcast, but we do take calls. If you want to chime in, if you think you're smarter than I am, cool. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, there are a few people in this town smarter than me. I haven't talked to them lately. I haven't talked to them yet, but I know there are some. Okay, there are some out there that make me look kind of bad. It's rare, but every once in a while. But I like smart people. Okay. Yeah, we got a 10% sound. I got you. I got you. But again, we still want to pay for things. Everybody wants this, everybody wants that. And the fire department wants a raise now. Police department, we gave the police department to try to get more police officers, and that doesn't seem to be working. So something is inherently wrong with our police department if we can't get young folks to want to do that job. Through the history of America, one of the greatest things you could be is a fireman or a policeman. It's been one of the greatest things you could be, and we can't seem to. Well, fireman is still cool, but we can't. I think politics has got into our policing apparatus, and it's in our policing apparatus to the point where we can't hardly get anybody to want to do it. Okay. So now getting back to the what you want. Well, we need one though. We need one. Okay. And $8 million for sports and entertainment facilities. Now, where is the 125K last year? Well, that's not that's not a lot of money. 125,000. That's not a lot. What's that for? I mean, that's not any money. And personally, I think we got to spend $8 million on a citywide universal center with games and stuff for kids and basketball courts inside and things like. I think we got to spend the money. Okay. Now, my way of getting the money is sugar tax. Okay. I did ask the mayor about that. We need a sugar tax and a beer tax. Nobody has to drink all these sodas, and nobody needs to drink beer. Okay, nobody needs to drink it. But if you want it, which is cool, yeah, we good. But if you want it, then you should pay extra for it. Okay, first of all, it's bad for you. And alcohol, Montgomery needs to put his own extra tax on alcohol. Do you know there are more people in the hospitals in America because of alcohol than drugs? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You didn't know that, did you? But so somebody tell me why during COVID we closed everything but alcohol stores, because they want to keep you in a maze. They want to keep you in a maze so you don't know what's going wrong. Okay. How about the city cut spend? Well, I must tell you though, Greg, you got to have something to cut. You got to pay the workers. Okay. Now we don't need $85,000-$100,000 cars to ride around in, but I will give you that one. But you got to pay the workers. You got to pay. All of that money comes to retirement and everything that we have to put money into for the former city employees who retired. I mean, you gotta still pay it. So how you gonna pay it? I mean, and the only way to pay it, the only way any city can get money, any entity can get money, it comes from us. It does the job. We can't now. Every once in a while, we can get what's called what the Biden give us, the Save America Fund, whatever it was, and all we did with that was couldn't find a reason to spend it on everything yet. And I think we got till December this year to spend all the money. I'm not a liberal tax and spend, but you know what? If you want stuff, you got to pay for it. I mean, what's so bad about that? If you want it, you got to pay for it. I mean, come on, man. You do. I don't want to. Again, I'm on a limited income here, and I won't be getting no raise unless I look up out there and that, I mean, y'all might see me coming one day bound back in the garbage truck, telling me, "Hey, can I get that garbage for you?" Because things get hard out here. Okay, I'm just telling you. But I do understand. How about Maxwell foot the bill for the? We weren't supposed to own Whitewater. Some secret district does. well, I hear you now. How about Maxwell foot the bill for Whitewater? And you think we built the thing for Maxwell? You think we actually built the thing for Maxwell? Well, we could ask the chairman of the councilman when he comes on around 8 o'clock. I don't think that. I don't think that that dog ain't gonna hunt. Okay, why would Maxwell want to pay for something that's in the municipality of Montgomery, Alabama? So, and now I realize this district, and I tell you what, I tried calling the people in the district. I'm trying to reach out to some of them, and some of them, there's a woman, what's her name, Hanson or something like that. These people, listen, I called one person, and Riley Roby came up on the answer machine. I said, "Whoa, this is a surprise." Martha Roby's husband came up on the answer machine. I said, "Well, okay then. Maybe they're hiding from us. I can't know." Cut spending. Okay, saying you already haven't done this. Yeah. Okay. Well, we won't get a commuter tax because Reed and some other people don't have the political will to do it. Now think about this for a second. All of these people come to Montgomery every day, riding on our roads, wear and tear on our roads, and don't have to pay a dime for them. Don't have to contribute anything for. And so what if they buy a little gas here on their way in and on their way out? Who cares? That's nothing. But we talk about a 1% tax. We talking about a 1%, just 1%. That means out of $100, you pay $1. Okay, I think that's 1%. It's one. What's 1% of 100? Hold on, let me ask Siri. I think it's $1. Hey Siri, what is 1% of $100?
1% times $100 is $1.
I tell you, I'm even brilliant when I think I'm not. Anyway, so out of every $100, you pay $1. Okay, $1. That means that means that you got to give up a soda. You got to give up a pack of cigarettes or something like that. Not even the whole pack. Pack cigarettes cost you more than $1 these days. Okay, you got to, like me, I'd have to give up a soda, which I need to give them up anyway. And listen, I think, now this is just me. Have you ever been to the store looking for healthy food? Okay, when they told me I had diabetes, I said, "Oh God, let me go to the store and find healthy food." Not only does the healthy food suck, it tastes bad, but it's higher than the bad food. So if people really wanted us to eat good, okay, eat nutritional food, the nutritional food would be the cheaper food than the food that's bad that's cheaper, right? Okay, think about this for a second. You can't go to the store and buy good food without having, everybody's not on food stamps. The government doesn't pay for my food. So I got to pay for it. So if I got $10 for the week to spend on groceries, then that means that I've got to buy the stuff I can afford. Okay, I'm just saying, we might need, who works here? The legislature, they're asking them to put, we are. We're asking them. And what we want to do is we want to see whether or not they actually care about us. Okay. It does mean that everybody in the city has to pay. But how many people are not paying? Okay, really, how many people are not paying? Okay. So at least if we put, or I'd say, put $1 on gas. Okay, now $1, that's kind of tough. Put 50 cents, put a 50 cents tax on gas. Okay, everybody's got to participate in this thing. Okay, and I do shop at different stores, and if it gets too bad, I'm going out on base. So I get cheap gas. If it gets too bad, I just go out on base and get my gas, okay, or the National Guard place and get my gas. It's always going to be a little cheaper on base than it is out here. But if I had to pay it, I would. Anyway, moving on to other things. If you have a man, you've been fooled. I do. I've been fooled at all the time because try Costco. Yeah, Costco. Yeah, do they still sell gas at Costco? I think they do. I must have put a job. I have put a job application in at Costco at Food Outlet, and Win Dixie too. And you know what the guy told me? He said, "Listen, Kevin, I can't hire you." I said, "How come you be talking to everybody?" Well, yeah, I'd be doing that. Yeah, I'd be talking to everybody because I'm a friendly guy. So I blew that. They knew who I was. Okay, so I blew that. So I need to buy a radio station or something. I don't know, but I got no money. I'm broke. So anyway, moving right along to other things. Now, what I'm about to bring up, I'm somewhat confused about because I am trying to figure out how the conversation of HBCUs came up with this tragedy of Charlie Kirk. I'm for the life of me. And here is what I believe. And I've been doing this business a long time. And most of the time, our instinct, because of our experience and because of how these things go, we pretty much know which way is up. So, is there any? And somebody tell me, is there any rational reason for HBCU conversation come up because of Charlie Kirk when he was in Utah at a whiter than white college university? I mean, Utah, the home of the Mormons. Okay, who you can leave your old lady with them butt naked and they wouldn't even touch her. Okay, that's how much I respect the Mormons. They're good folks. I don't necessarily believe everything they believe, but I like what they're good people. So how in the world did the word HBCU get brought up in a conversation after Kirk, a white man, at a white university, a whiter than white university, the most whitest university town in America? How in the world did HBCUs come up? Now, you guys, I've done some research. Okay? Exactly. There you go. Right there. There it is right there. Okay? I guarantee you that somebody threw this in the mix. Okay? And a bunch of HBCUs let out early. Okay? What does that have to do with having a Charlie Kirk? Nothing. So somebody is giving us some Bravo Sierra. Okay. And you don't know what that means, send me a text and I'll tell you. Bravo Sierra. Okay. That's what we got out of this. Okay. I mean, what in the world? And I'm but it's not we're not tired of Charlie. The guy really was a swell guy. I didn't agree with everything he said either, but I agree with 90% of it. But not everything. And me and God have conversations sometimes too, because he's the boss of everything. And right. But here's the problem. Who did the threatening? Who gave the threat? That's what I want to know. Okay. Somebody has manipulated mainstream America to now start talking about the danger of HBCUs. I heard Roland Martin and all these people who can't find a yeah, listen. I agree with you. They're using black folks again to distract from the left from their own issues. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're using, and we always get used. I hope we get used for the transgender thing. We got used for the gay thing. Black folks always getting used to further somebody else's agenda. Okay, as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, I was walking down, I was looking in the newspaper. It says Juan Crow, not Jim Crow, but Juan Crow. This Juan man. I mean, listen, what's that got to? Why you picking up our thing? And even on the civil rights legislation, more people have been benefited besides black folks. And so we always getting used for something. And when it came to same-sex marriage, oh my lord, all that's the word right there. Same-sex marriage. Um, we were brought into that argument again. Okay, we were brought into that argument again. What makes them think the black folks want to marry somebody to look like them? I mean, same men and men. Although hey, you do what you want to do. I got no. You do what you want to do. That's between you and God. I got my own problems. But don't stop using black folk. The hard work, the sacrifice that my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather put in to this nation down in Mississippi to further your wacko political objectives. It just I mean we ought to get mad one day, but move right along. Move right along. Move right along. So again, it makes no sense to me that we are actually having a conversation about HBCUs after a young man was killed, and he was a young man, 31 years old, was killed by wackos. And how in the world, again, they're trying to change the conversation. Okay. Okay. Now, let's get back. What is that right there? You guess your. Yeah. Well, nobody's using me here. Nobody's using me here because this is my baby. So nobody uses me. So anything I say because I want to say it. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. But again, how do we always end up in the middle of these things? Because one thing people in this country know, we like to talk about race. We love to talk about race. Okay, the minute the race conversation comes up, Katie bar the door, close all the restaurants down, turn off the TVs, turn on the radio, and and whatever's on the table, it has been forgotten because somebody brought up black people and white people. Okay, so we love that subject. Talk about race because and what we do when we talk about race, we actually take advantage. There ought to be a law against taking advantage of mentally unequal people who are who are not as equal as most of us are. We ought to do that because they know they can push the emotional button. Okay, and I heard what's the name. I heard some preacher last night. Or somebody said me think about a preacher. Now he act like what if? And I'm only saying this. Can somebody tell me who threatened HBCUs? See, that part I haven't heard. So who did it? Who? Where did the threat come from? Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay, was it from a black person? Who wanted to bring more fear and trepidation on white people in America because all they got to do is say, "Oh, black folks being under attack again." And if they were legitimate, it's worth a conversation. But where did it come from? Where did the threat come from? Was it on Twitter? Somebody up in Canada, okay, who just thought they'd put it out there? Was it in Nicaragua, Mexico? Where did it come from? Okay, I don't know. Do you know? Have you heard anybody say where the threat came from? No, you haven't. You haven't heard that. No, I haven't either. And I've been looking for it too. Okay. I've been looking for it. Anyway, moving right along. And again, if you want to give us a call, 521-2963. I need a combo check anyway, because I think it'll work. Because I got some other things here to talk about too. Now, the hot conversation of the day and yesterday has been teachers, and a couple. We got a couple now in Montgomery who want to be brave, quote unquote brave, and to say what they want to say. I personally think they still have the right to say as they please, as long as they're doing it, not doing with the equipment provided by them by the employer. Now, if you go on your social media account and you happen to be at work when you do it, yeah, that's hands off. That I think that's a penalty there. But if you're at home on the weekend and you just get a burp your butt to talk about people, to say some nasty, distasteful things, I think that's your privilege. Dr. Joe.
They do have the right to say as they please.
Well, without fear of losing your job.
Well, they signed a contract, didn't they?
Well, I looked at some of the contract. I think when they go to court, I think I don't think the contract said anything about speech, about what you can and cannot say.
I don't think they'll go to court. If they do, they'll lose. We're a right to work state. You know that, right?
Except under certain, but you don't have the right to trample over people's constitutional rights.
I agree with that. What constitutional right are they being deprived of?
Freedom of speech.
No, they're not. Did anybody put them in jail?
When you take my job, you might as well put me in jail. When you limit my ability to make a living,
nobody put them in jail. They can go find another job.
Why should they have to?
Because they broke the contract.
Again, I looked at the contract. I didn't see anything in that contract about speech.
Well, apparently the superintendent said that it was not their. They broke district policy.
Well, and again, just because it's a policy, don't make it legal.
Oh yeah, it's legal.
Well, we'll see. I'm willing to put a Big Mac on it.
I bet you a chicken dinner.
Now let's go Big Mac.
They won't get their job back, and that they won't. Well, that they won't go to court, and if they do, they'll lose. I bet you a chicken dinner.
If they get a good lawyer, a civil rights lawyer, I believe they win this. But let's go Big Mac. I'm tired of chicken.
Okay, I'll go Big Mac.
Yeah, let's go Big Mac. When this is all said and done, Elkin says that they'll win their position.
No, they won't.
Okay, well, we'll see. Just remember, I like no pickles and no lettuce. Okay.
Well, you tell them that. You tell them that when I order my Big Mac. But I like the pickles and the other stuff. Though.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't think so. And here's my issue. When I read the parts of the contract that they're trying to penalize on, here is the question that needs to be asked. Who determines whether or not anyone's speech is offensive? Okay? Who gets to determine that?
Well, apparently the superintendent got to decide that.
And the superintendent works for the board. So the superintendent,
the board will approve it. They'll approve her being fired.
Okay, and it depends on context. It depends on the audience that you're speaking to, and the standards. We play crap on the radio in this town, in that. Stroke it, don't yoke it. I mean, we play.
Well, what's that got to do with the teacher?
Okay, wait a minute. We play these things in the public venue. We play it on public radio so everybody can hear it. I've heard things on the radio here that offended the hell out of me, but you know what? It's free speech.
Well, did you hear about that quarterback a few years ago that was singing along with one of those songs, and he was a white guy, and and it had several of the N words. Usually, I only hear the N word from black people.
Yeah.
But anyway, he lost his scholarship to one school, and he ended up having to go to another school.
And
you think that was free speech?
I think that was free speech, and it's called hypocrisy. Because if you let black folks say it, then you ought to let white folks say it too.
Well, I agreed with that, because I guarantee you, every one of his black teammates were saying the word.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
there you go.
So
but you can revoke somebody's scholarship for any reason you want.
And I guess you can, but again, I mean, you got to go to the guy who brought you to dinner, and that they gave it to him. They got a right, I guess, to take it away. But if it was strictly for using the same word that other people use without repercussion, then I think the man has a lawsuit for discrimination.
Well,
but they probably don't.
You want to take things to court like you want to take the commuter tax to court. You're not going to win, Kevin. In Montgomery, it is a capital city. All those legislators are not going to vote for a tax upon themselves.
And there's only one way it can happen: if we actually became citizens and demanded that they do something, okay, and not just talk about it from your keyboard on your computer, not just talk about it by sending in an email. If you show up downtown, like Alvin Holmes used to say, by the thousand. I'm talking about we need 500,000 people to come to Montgomery.
And by the way, one of your callers, he doesn't call anymore, but the 99er,
yeah,
he used to like to find out where people worked, and he'd call their boss and try to get them fired. He said he didn't know my name, but he knew my wife, and he knew where she taught. I don't know why he couldn't figure out my name.
Yeah, I don't either. But again,
I mean, if he knew my wife, he could just go ask her.
Yeah, well, he could. Yeah. But again, I'm still trying to figure out, when does the school board have the domain over what's offensive?
Well, just like the universities do, and just like the government, and just like Microsoft. Microsoft fired some guy because of what he said about the Kirk killing.
Okay. Now, I will agree, to be intellectually honest here, if you work for a private company, I will agree, and you violate. But the problem with these standards sometimes, these standards have so much, you can drive a truck through what's not in them. Okay.
Well, it's just like when I was teaching at that private school, we had a kid to post something on Snapchat of him drinking a beer or smoking a joint or something. Guess what? He didn't get to come back to school there.
So I mean, who gives the school system the long reach of the law, or their policy? What makes their policies effective outside the realm of school?
Plenty of things.
What?
Well, look, if you go to a football game and if a kid does something there,
I understand that. That's a school function. I got you. He did it at a school function. That makes sense. But not something on Snapchat or Facebook, and they do it from their own privacy of their own home, of their own account. I can even see them if they use a school account in order to make some nefarious statement or something that was quote unquote offensive. But from my house, you're gonna reach out and touch me?
Well, they apparently can. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Yeah.
Bye.
Well, they can if we don't stop. They can if we don't stop. Again, what is offensive? Because the words that these people are putting in music today offends the hell out of me. And I just sat there and said, we really let that on the radio today? And we're letting things on the radio that we never had. Hey, I got that little license some years ago to broadcast, and I better not be caught saying some of the things. So, what is the standard? What is the standard? Okay. So I don't know what the standard is. Anyway, if you want to give us a call, 521-2963 is the number here. If you want to give us, if you totally disagree with me, again, the standards can't keep changing. If you have a standard, it is a standard. That's one thing I do like about our Secretary of War. He used to be called Secretary of Defense. Is that he said from now on, you're going back to the old standard. You must, if you're going to be in the military, you're going to look like you're in the military. You're going to wear your hair high and tight. You're going to walk around. We need to get rid of them ugly boots so we can shine our boots again. But other than that, the standard can't keep changing. Else nobody knows what the standard is. Okay. When I showed up at work, I knew my boots better be shined, my uniform better be ironed, I better have creases in my shirt, and doggone it, anything other than that, you have below the standard, and there will be repercussions. The standard can't change depending on the day and depending on who's in office. It has to be a standard. Okay. And we don't really know what that standard is anymore. We really don't know. We don't have a clue what it is anymore because it keeps changing. Okay. It keeps changing. Oh, Rankin versus McPherson, 1987, ruled it unconstitutional. What did he rule unconstitutional? Good morning.
Good morning, Gavin.
Yeah, what was ruled unconstitutional?
Well, they had a guy when Reagan was shot.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy said, "I hope that next time someone shoots him, they get it right." He was fired from his job. That was a case that was settled in 1987 at the Supreme Court. They had to pay that man damages, lost wages, and damages, pain and suffering for firing him because he said that about Ronald Reagan being shot. So most of these people getting fired, it's a knee-jerk reaction we got going on right now.
Yeah,
we see that all the time.
Yeah, we do.
We see it all the time. Knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, they shouldn't have said it. Yeah, it was in bad taste.
It was tacky, right? Bad taste and everything.
Yes, but legally, when it gets down to it, as Dr. Joe said, they won't win in court.
I think they're going to win.
The Supreme Court has set the law. The Supreme Court has set the law, so you're going to see people. That's why you see some teachers getting suspended, or they'll do a little disciplinary thing, like, "Hey, you shouldn't have said that." But they're not going to just straight out fire these people. They're not going to do it because they're going to lose. Their HR is going to tell them, "Hey, you can't fire that person." It's law, and every HR person knows that. They know how you can fire somebody, why you can fire somebody. Now, if they were using social media while they were on the clock, that may be something they have written in their contract.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were not on the clock, if they were on their time, it's their free speech. And if the Constitution will say that about someone about a president, so think about something that happened with a president of the United States, why wouldn't they say that about anything else?
Yeah, well, right. We can talk, right. We can talk about him. We can talk about everybody. And again, it's tasteless. It's a shame that people resort to that kind of verbiage. But again, we live in a country like the flag. Trump was talking about putting people in jail for stepping on the flag. Listen, if you might get hit in the mouth by somebody, but the government don't have any business in that. Yeah.
No, because that's one of your constitutional rights. That's why we have the Constitution.
And you got a right to be stupid. Yeah, you got a right a right to offend people too. As a matter of fact. Hey, what case was that again?
McPherson versus Rankin, 1987. I'll put a link in your.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I knew I was right because my brain just tells me I was right about this. So I know I'm right.
Well, that's in my lifetime. So
yeah,
I know that's in your lifetime.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, hey man, thank you for the information. See, that's why we do. That's why we do these shows. Because we find out things that he's going to send me the thing here, and I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to. Hey, Dr. Joe, don't again when you get that Big Mac, make sure you don't put no pickles on it. Okay, just make sure you don't have pickles on it because you're gonna owe me a Big Mac. They are not gonna be allowed to fire these people. Not for just saying stupid things. I'm just sorry that especially if they do it off work from their house. I don't think that. I mean, you want to talk about a tyrannical government. My Lord, how about a tyrannical boss at your job? Who out here would want the boss to show up at your house talking about you can't say that? Huh? Really? Seriously? Yellow.
Well, your party's on the road, aren't they?
What you talking
They
about?
on the road.
What you
Your
talking about?
party is on the road,
And
making all these new rules up,
yeah.
But I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are there any gay Republicans in the world?
Sure there are. They get everybody.
Okay. This guy Mama said this boy was getting more and more upset because of the gay thing.
Mhm.
Okay. The guy that did the shooting.
Right.
Okay. For the last 2 or 3 weeks or last few days, the Republican was hoping that it was a Negro or some Mexicans or some kind of gay person that did this so they can tie it to the Democrat Party some kind of way.
Mhm.
How did that make sense, Calvin?
Well, again, I don't think gay has anything to do with political affiliation, but behavior.
No, they've been harping about
But
transgender.
behavior.
So since they done found out little information, since the guy won't talk, they're gonna make it up for him. They saying that since he's gay or transgender, that he's automatically tied to the Democrat Party. Hell, I know a bunch of gay Republicans.
And I've had the
Make
pleasure.
sense to that. Make sense to that for me, sir.
Yeah. Listen, I've had the pleasure of meeting a couple of folks who are Republican that were gay, but
I know, but wait, but what they've been doing the last few days? They've been tying it to the Democratic Party just because he got a limp wrist or whatever.
Well, again, though, there's a philosophy that Republicans and Democrats, the Republicans and Democrats believe in. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody who's in these parties exclusively will do these things, but the Democratic Party is more closely related to debauchery. Okay.
Now they may take up for the people more, but what I'm saying now, for this guy to go out and do what he did, they claim he was influenced. No, he was influenced because that's what he believed in, because he's like that. He say he's like that, so he don't like because they talking about him in a sense. Okay, so but your party is want to go over there and say we can't say this anymore. I never thought that I'd see the day, Kevin. I'm 63 years old. I never thought I'd see the day where the Republican Party say, "Hell, you can't say what the hell you want to say."
Well, listen, I'm with you, and again,
man,
I do not like.
Can I say the word dictator? Or I get locked up for saying this, becoming a dictatorship kind of government under you guys.
Have you heard?
I gotta go, man. I got work to do.
No,
all right, bye.
Go to work. Yeah, you haven't heard anybody. The president hasn't said anything about it. Now he did get sentimental about that flag, and I think he was just being sentimental and not necessarily legal. But I think he was being sentimental about the flag. But again, I think people have a right to take that flag and step on it on the ground, but just don't be around me when you do it. Okay, because I might be tempted to hurt you. It depends on how big you are. Depending on how big you are. Because our soldiers, sailors, and airmen and Marines, when they fall for this country, the last thing that a relative will get, a parent or anybody will get, is that flag. It is not the flag. It is not the cloth that we really care so much about. It's not the cloth. It is what it stands for. Okay. It's what it stands for. And that is why there are some people who get extremely upset when it comes to this kind of thing. Okay. Again, I'm waiting. Yeah. I got to take a little break here for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to see if I can get the councilman on the line here, because he's supposed to be popping in. Well, I'll give him a few minutes. It's just now 7:59. But I'm waiting for CC Calhoun to pop in on our screen to make sure that we're gonna have a conversation. Because things happened at the city council last night that just got me stupefied. Okay, I'm just stupefied that some of the things, some of the rulings come out of the city council sometimes. I don't know if they really. As a matter of fact, I got another city council, I think, on tomorrow. I think I got a Rondé Mitchell on tomorrow also. So we see they finally understand that I'm still the man. So we're coming on to talk about these things. Okay. Uh, the numbers here are 521-2963. Should you want to opine, which opine means have a conversation. Okay. Okay. I agree about the flag free speech. Well, it is. I don't like it. I don't like when people do it because most of the people who do that, good morning, Miss Wright. Most of the people who do this thing never served. Okay, most of them don't. They too scared to go any place. They don't have the balls to be a man, so they act like a little wuss and step all on the flag. So that's good. But hey, they got a right to do that. We live in America, and when we become the thing that we hate in our enemy, then what makes us any different? Oh, there's my boss. There's my boss right there.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Councilman. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing good. A lot of people asked me a couple of questions about, and I saw your city council meeting last night. I'm gonna have to slap you upside the head a little bit about some of that stuff y'all did at city council meeting last night. But I'm glad
Yeah.
there's a screen between us.
You got to come in live. You got to come in live. You want some of that action?
I know. I know. First of all, tell the folk who you are for the folks who don't know, who would never, because y'all elites down there, we don't ever see you too much out in the street, so people don't know what you look like. Now some people know what you look like. Tell the folks who you are.
Hey, good morning. I'm CC Calhoun. I'm City Council represent District 5. I also serve as the president of the Montgomery City Council. I'm a native Montgomery, retired military here, came back home, and just look forward to living and making Montgomery home and making Montgomery great.
Making Montgomery great again.
No, just keeping it great. Let's keep it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that's true too. Let's get down to some brass tacks. Somebody, are we giving Whitewater $8 million a year? Is that budgeted for $8 million?
No, 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 no. Whitewater is budget from the city council. A commitment to Whitewater is $500,000 per year. That's in this
Okay,
year's budget. Hmm.
okay. Because see, this is why you got to ask the source. Because right, I got a thing here that somebody says we giving them $8 million. We have budgeted $8 million for them. Okay,
Uh,
yeah,
no, 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 not from the city. I think the county passed the budget yesterday to contribute $500,000, and also the city. So it's $1 million per
it's a
year.
million dollars, which
Yeah.
is which is you know what I don't care because we need something to bring people to Montgomery besides race.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
and
Yeah.
we ain't gonna never get along every time if all we do is come here think about what happened some years ago. But
Yeah.
move right along. Uh, uh, the final budget last night was what?
$353 million plus.
Okay, where is the preponderance of that additional money coming from?
Well, if you look at Montgomery and the growth that we have economically, with the new companies that's online, the hotels that we have, we have 4 hotels that's coming on downtown. One of them last night I saw was open. So we have impact of revenue coming from some of these economic of things that we have done in the city. Montgomery is growing. When you look at out there in the southern part of the city,
Hmm.
out there, the Hyundai Boulevard and all of that, you look at that growth. So you have a lot of buildings going on. So there's a revenue that comes. 93% of our budget comes in from our tax basis, which is sales tax, Avalon tax, and those type things. So we're doing pretty good here in the city of Montgomery.
Okay. One of the complaints that I've heard recently about, and it's a good thing we got the growth out there in the South, but we don't have a bus to go out there for average Joe who don't have a big time car right now. Are we going to do anything about putting some public transportation out there so they can get some of them jobs?
Yeah, great question. I talked with Sam Tinsley and Cody Calhoun that represents MAP as operation manager. The bus, I found out probably about a month ago that the bus stops at Southline, and then people that work out that way have to walk or, try to get that. And that's just not acceptable. So we're looking at revamping the whole public transportation within the city of Montgomery. It's an easy fix. I think our planning department is working on. We need a couple of bus stops out there on Hyundai Boulevard in that area so we can take to and from. And the other problem is we don't run on weekends. So Hyundai runs a 7-day shift, and a lot of these companies will be running a 7-day shift. So we got to revamp, put the funding in there to make, bus system run 7 days a week, at least 12 hours a day.
That sounds good. Okay, because I was wondering about that. We got all these jobs, and another thing, do you know, Alvin used to ask businesses when they came to town, um, how many Montgomerys you going to put in there? You know, how many? We don't want everybody, and everybody has a right to work, and that's absolutely true. But I don't think we want everybody from everywhere else getting the jobs, leaving our folks, to fester in the lull of unemployment. Do we get any commitment from these folks to give a percentage of course, of qualified people to work out there?
Yeah, well, when you look at the incentives that we give these people, they come from the state, county, local government, city. And so we ask, for Montgomeryans, because that's who we represent when we're doing those tax dollars, that Montgomeryans be hired with these companies that we are. So there is a commitment and I ask always from the city through the chamber that we get Montgomeryans hired. I like it if, Parada, if everybody is sharing, Elmore County and these other counties is coming in, whatever your percentage is, I think that should reflect the job market when you come out there. If you're 18% donor, then 18% of the people should work from your community. If you're 60%, then 60% should come from your community. So, those are the things that we push for, and we hope we're doing workforce development here, workforce training at our 2-year colleges to try to get people prepared from some of the workforce that we're doing out these jobs. But we want to create these jobs in the atmosphere that people can go to work. You work here, you live here, and that helps build our tax base.
Okay, you got somebody I think wants to ask you a question. Greg, you on there with the councilman?
Hey, CC.
Hey, good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we
I
hear you.
can.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm looking at the budget. I'm looking at the proposed budget, and you got a line item, sports and entertainment facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we had a budget of $197,000 for that line item.
Mm-hmm.
This year, the new budget is $7,964,899. What is that money being used for?
Okay, so that budget in that department is basically a transfer out of our park and recreation department. When we look at Riverfront, the bowl games that we do, we created a whole department at sports entertainment management where we bring in these bowl games, we go out and recruit with any kind of tournaments that's going on in Montgomery. So it's a shift. If you go back and look at the park and recreation budget in that same budget, you'll see where the park and recreation budget will decrease about $6.5 million. So it just was a transfer out of park and recreation to create that own department to handle those things, those bowl games out at Crampton Bowl, the things that we do down at Biscuit Stadium, Riverwalk, any kind of entertainment that we have going on pertaining to sports, the riverboat ride, all of that is coming through that department. So there's a transfer out of that department into that budget. So it kind of balances out. That's what that's all about.
Is that you still there, Greg? Greg.
How much of that is going to Whitewater?
None of that is going to Whitewater. Whitewater is a separate line item within our budget. Now, if you look right at what I just told you, the park and recreation budget, you'll see where that was a decrease in park and recreation. So we just separated that out and created a separate department just to handle the sports management portion or what goes on. Because it shouldn't have been done by park and recreation. You need people that specialize in that. We work with the Central Alabama Sports Commission on bowl games that's coming in, and that's where that all comes from.
Now there's going to be a delay, Greg. So you got another question?
All right, thanks.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your call.
When you guys call in, there's going to be a little delay, so hang up your phone or whatever it is you're listening to, and turn it down. Last night at this, I have a problem with you guys on this alcohol thing at the city council. A man comes before you guys last night. He's bought a building, or he's in the process of buying a building. Evidently there was nothing there, so he's putting something there. He's trying to build it, and we turn him down because a couple people whine about it. Alcohol is legal.
I agree.
Okay, who gives the what gives the city council the right to tell people of how much and how many things of the same thing they can put someplace?
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I tell people all the time, alcohol don't kill people. It's people that do wrong things when drinking alcohol causes harm. The guy invested in, I look at it from an economic standpoint. It's two vacant buildings that's at that location over on the Southern Boulevard, the old Reinhardt Lexus building. He invested. When I looked at the packet, everything that was checked off in that packet, through our planning department, through our police department, to talking to the council person of that district. No one at that point came out in opposition. We had a public hearing about a month ago. No one came out in opposition of it. But the council person at that time was saying, I need you to go to a community meeting, community meeting, community meeting, community meeting. No one was showing up. Some people came in that was for the business. And and the council person said he just moved for the deny. And 99.9% of the time people work with that councilman. I just thought it was a wrong vote last night, but that's part of the process. You work the process. I think this guy was investing in Montgomery. He has a couple of other stores, I think, throughout that he provides uh goods to the C stores, convenience stores throughout Montgomery. He wanted to use that other part as a package store. I had visited some of his businesses, and he run a clean, legit business. So it was just one of those things. I don't think that's the end of the story. I think the guy said last night when he left that he's going to appeal it through circuit court, and so I
And,
don't. I just
and,
don't
and
think.
he'll probably win.
And 99.9% of the time, people rule against it because if it's not against their health and welfare, and some of the opposition is about a daycare, but when you look in your packet, there's no daycare near it. So those are myths that was said by one of the people that
But
opposed it.
but let me ask you a question. Why is it that when it comes to alcohol or something involving, we give the city council person for that district a whole lot of leeway to sway everybody else? You guys represent the whole city,
Hmm.
the business, regardless of the part of town it's on, it's still in the city of Montgomery. You being the chairman of the city council, so as a chairman, you don't get a supernumerary vote or anything. Your vote just counts as one.
One person, one vote. One representative, one vote. And I voted in favor because I say, hey, it was a legit proposal that came before the council. He met with the community, and community means no one came out in opposition to the public hearing that we held. And I I just agree. The council voted down, and the council supported that one thing. And it's all about relationships. I think the biggest thing is relationship when it comes to something that you're opposing in your district. You want the support of the other council members because at the end of the night, you're gonna get the calls for it.
Yeah, but again, the problem is you guys got you have some SOPs, but not necessarily ordinances. I don't think there's an ordinance to say that if I'm going to put a business, I got to talk to the neighborhood people. There's no ordinance that says I got to do that.
That's true. You just doing your due diligence to ask for the support, and the guy did that, and he had some support to come out. It's just one of those things, and when people get into their feelings or get into, well, I don't want this. It's my property value going down. But I look at it as two empty buildings. That's not helping your property value either, and it's not
Right,
helping the city of Montgomery.
right.
So my other thing is if ABC Select stores, if the state wanted to come there and put a ABC
You
store there,
couldn't
it's
stop it.
nothing that the city council can do.
So
So, I just think we just, when it comes to liquor stores and bars and clubs, I guess we get it. Some people get to the point at the age where, hey, I don't do this no more. I don't go this no more.
mhm.
So I think it's just against my moral, belief that I'm not going to support this. And so that's what it comes down to. But I respect the process. I voted in favor. Some people voted down. A lot of people abstained from the vote. So it didn't pass for a lack of majority.
Right, and so essentially y'all tabled it.
No, it died. It died.
It died because there was no consensus because y'all
Yeah,
were 4-4.
I think it was 4-1-3 or something to that. So it didn't get to 5 with a 9-person council. So it died, and I couldn't get anybody to make a motion for a approval. So it died for lack of a motion
Right,
for
right.
approval.
Okay. And I saw that, and I got to tell you, that's the biggest cow. If you're going to be a leader, be a leader. Vote against it. Vote for it. Don't be a wuss and sit there and and sit on your hands. I mean, that's not leadership. Let the guy know that you're the one that screwed him over. Okay. Okay, let
That
him
that
know that.
that that's politics according to Kevin Elkins.
That's policy according to leadership. Being a leader
Yeah.
means making tough decisions and living with the decision,
Hey,
not making one.
yeah, I wake up every morning. I'm comfortable with the decisions that I make. So
And that's
it's
because you made the
leadership is tough,
decision, right?
right?
Because you made the decision. Yeah,
Hmm.
I do. Um, School comes up often with the mayor,
Hmm.
knowing that we have nothing to do with schools. We have
Hmm.
no authority. All you can do is give them in-kind donations or write them a little check or something. But you have nothing to do with schools. So why are we always having that conversation?
Well, we do have something to do with schools. We want to support our schools. We have influence, and we want the best schools for this community. Because from a city standpoint, when we go out and recruit these companies, come in. The first thing they talk about is education. They talk about healthcare, the things that you can provide in the community. So we want the best of the best for our kids. That's where that conversation comes in. You're absolutely right. The citizens of Montgomery County elects a board to kind of regulate what goes on in the school. We just in a supported basis, and everybody has their opinion on what needs to be done. But at the end of the day, you have to hold the people that you elected, the school board, the superintendent, accountable for what you want to see in your schools. And if you're not seeing it, you need to voice your opinion. I think politics gets
Right,
involved in a lot
right,
of those things.
right. I think it's a bunch of platitudes, though. And what a platitude is, something that sounds good that nobody's really going to disagree with. Everybody cares about this school if you got kids in it.
Right.
Everybody does.
Hmm.
But the honest to God truth is that all we can do is talk. We can't do anything. We have no purview of SOPs. We have no purview of anything. I mean, we give them money if we want to, in kind services such as policemen, but we have no authority over that city, over that board of education.
Yeah, you great. Other than what we give from a city standpoint for its financial support, and also the in-kind services that we did with the officers that we put in every high school, middle school,
Right.
resource officers and those type things to try to support that. We're there for support, but everyone's gonna have an opinion on the way they want to see
And that's
school
all
and
it is.
government ran.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
just like in the position that we have as a elected city council. Everybody has an opinion on how the city of Montgomery should be ran, and they voice those opinion, and a
yeah,
lot of the things that we're faced with, is not legal that we can do it. And then we get a lot of people coming before the city council. It's something that's not proven that the city council can do. We don't enforce laws every day. We don't go out there and write speeding tickets. We support the police department or our people that's doing that by budgeting and financial things that we do, and equipment that we give. But I can't stop somebody that's speeding on Carter Hill Road right now for nothing in the
yeah.
world.
Let me. Why you're a soldier? I'm a soldier.
Mhm.
Um, we can get people to volunteer for the United States military to go places and do things that most of us don't ever want to do, but every once in a while we find ourselves in certain situations. Why
Mhm.
can't we get policemen to work for Montgomery Police Department? Has
Uh,
anybody did anybody know why?
I'm just going. This just the CC Calhoun opinion. I was a recruiter in the
Mhm,
military for 14 years, so
mhm,
I had an opportunity. I've been blessed enough to serve on the city council for 5 terms. And when we talked about some of the problems that we have when it comes to recruitment of our officers, I told one of the chiefs back then. I said, man, it's basically like you just got to be selected as a police officer at birth, because the background check and the stringent thing that you can do, there's no waiver process like you might know in the military. Someone made a mistake early on, you can get a waiver to get them in because they
right,
served. There's no process, so there's no waiver process. So if someone did anything or lied on the thing, have you ever smoked marijuana? They might have smoked marijuana at 17, now they 27, and that comes back and bites you in the butt, so you're disqualified. So I think somewhere, I can hear the chief some of the point where you want trustworthy people out on the street. You don't want corrupt officers, but everybody is no one perfect. So you have to give people opportunity. I think we need to change the way we recruit and some of the standards that we hold. And one thing I tell people all the time, you can be smart as you want to be when it comes to the military, or you can be not so smart. But once you go through the training, they break you down and they teach you what you need to know, and they get you ready for the job. And I think that should be part of the process. That's
yeah,
what I see as the problem.
okay. Now, from what some of the officers that tell me, their biggest problem, they said, is with the mayor.
Hmm.
micromanaging. One guy got laid off or terminated because he cussed out somebody. A
Hmm.
perp, not chain of command, but a perp.
Hmm.
I mean, really? I mean,
I can't defend the mayor. I don't work in the police department, but just based on my experience with him, he's not a micromanager
okay.
of the police department. I think he kind of allows the chief and ranking his
Mhm,
files to kind of run the police department. Now, I get calls all the time about something that went on the police department. They treated Kevin Elkins different from me. We had the same violation. You got
mhm.
2 days. I got 2 weeks. I don't think that's fair policy, and I think that's something need to be looked at in the personnel board when we look at that. And those are the type things that make any organization where people are not comfortable with working when the standards are not the same across the board. I think everything need to be publicly and ain't no big eyes, little U's. Everything. If it's tardy for work 15 minutes, it refers for a 2-day suspension. Anybody that's tardy 15 minutes should get a 2-day suspension. Not because I'm CC Calhoun and you Kevin and when I turn the other cheek. And if you got those type things going on in the organization, that would cause problems.
Um, Great Boys, which I think is doing a decent job, but
Mhm.
the police chief, do you guys have anything to do? Does the city council have anything to do with determining who the next police chief is?
No, the police chief is one of those jobs that's a direct appointment by the mayor.
Okay.
Uh, Me as the president, Ms. Pruitt as the pro tem, we are in on some of those conversations. I was actually on the police search committee on the interviewing process where I had an opportunity to talk with all the candidates. And just be honest with you, he came out, one in my opinion when it came to the interview, and then the lady that we just brought on as the deputy chief, the chief of staff, was number two. So I think he came in, he was local, he understood what was going on. He had a pretty good interview, and it might have been because he was already inside. If you can serve 8 to 9 months, you got an insight on where you're trying to take the department. But we do have those conversations. But at the end of the day, it's 7 appointments that the mayor get directly for his cabinet.
Okay. And this is not a complaint, it is merely an observation.
Hmm.
We seem to keep going outside Montgomery to find leadership, ignoring the potential leadership that we have already on the police department. And who in the world wants to be a policeman in a city where they never can aspire to be the chief? I just, that to me is an insult to the people. We bring a woman in here who's 5'2", 5'3", whatever case may be, who certainly cannot handle a guy big as you, big as me. Now she can shoot you. That's true. She can do that, but she can't do anything else. She came from Baltimore, and
Hmm.
she was on the police department when the mayor of that city told people they could go to the other side of town and protest and rock and break equipment. So my thing is that, does she still subscribe to that philosophy? I mean, listen, y'all can go over there and tear that up, but you can't come over here.
I don't think he subscribed to that philosophy. I don't think anyone in our police department or in the city does that. I think she bring some added value to the police department. Like I said, in on my scorecard, she rated number two. Out of the 5 people that we interviewed, Graybo stood out as the number one candidate, and I think they can kind of coexist on some things that she brings to the table on operating in a city like Baltimore and some of the issues that they have, some of the same things that we have here in the city of Montgomery to try to bring a plan together on how we move to try to stop some of this tedious crime that we have. The approach that we're gonna take when it comes to these violent crimes. Violent crimes is down, but we need an approach. We need a mindset to change, and that comes together where we talk about education, we talk about family values, we talk about the religious community. Everybody has to come together to make Montgomery what you want to see. I can't point my finger to say it's the police, it's the school, it's the family. At the end of the day, it starts at home. It starts with someone that cares about you and someone that cares and love and want to pour into you. It's someone within your block or within your community, or it should be within your circle that can pour into someone to get them on the right track.
Listen, nobody can disagree with that. Couple more questions. and I know what y'all keep telling me, but the Whitehurst case is like a cloud. It is like a cloud over this city.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened in 1975, and I know it happened a long time ago, but it seemed like to me, and everywhere else in America, Pope Bill Cosby went to jail for something happened 50 years ago, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that family was harmed. Nobody ever paid the price for that, and I don't mean the financial price. They paid no price except the Robinson, the mayor, and I know you're kind of young still. The mayor, and I wasn't even here. The
Mm-hmm.
mayor quit. But why is it that do you believe morally this
Mm-hmm.
city owes them something? Not you, but they got screwed.
I mean, that's that's not a tough question. I'm not going to tap dance around. I just think, during the processes when it happened, we had leadership in place. And when you look at that's 50 years ago, and at no point any leadership has come in and say, well, hey, we owe, well, it's a financial uh, 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 what we call a financial gift or whatever we need to do. I think from the point that we gave an apology, we did something that we put it into the academy. But I know one of the things that has come up is, making them whole would be some type of financial support from the city of Montgomery. And I mean, I'm of the opinion that might be something that can do. But when you open up Pandora's box, what else to come out? So where do we get these type funding for to continue? Because it's some things been done throughout this community and this nation, but are we making these people whole?
True, but here's a distinction though. When a chartered city in the state of Alabama, which is Montgomery,
Hmm.
under the color of authority, with the legal authority to arrest people and take people's lives. Police are the only people in this town that can do that, and any other law enforcement. They have a right to do it. But this is one of those cases where they shot a man in the back,
And
and
that's wrong.
yeah. So that family is owed something. Now I know you represent the city council, so I'm trying to put you in a situation so somebody record this and say, I mean, I know you got to be careful about what you say, but so what if a Pandora's box gets open? If that has happened to more people than just one, maybe it's time because that's one of the reasons why we can't get beyond this color thing in this city, because things that were done like that have never nobody's ever rectified them.
Yeah,
And
you make a good point, but I have to look at it. Do you punish this administration and leadership for something that happened in the past that
no,
you
you
didn't get?
no, no,
And
no.
so that's what I'm saying. We'll bring it up. So I guess you're asking this leadership, this council, we should rectify something that should have been done 20 years ago, 30 years ago, in 75 when it happened. I
It
think
should be.
the legal
Yeah.
system, lawyers was involved, the court system involved, and nothing came out of that said, hey, the court can say, hey, the city owed. And they can demand that kind of stuff, but that has never come out.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, and I think my answer to that would be what the police tell you when they stop you, and you tell the police, "Hey, that guy was going faster than me." He said, "Yeah, but I called you." Okay,
Right.
and I think this is the same way with okay, those people didn't do it, they didn't take care of it, but that family is owed something by this city, not you guys. You guys didn't. A matter of fact, y'all, I'm 75. I was 18 years old.
Mhm.
Barely knew where my stuff was. So
That's kind of late when you don't know.
what can I tell you? What can I tell you? I was slow. but but anyway, it's something that I think we need. It keeps coming up. Myra McPherson, who's a reporter for the Washington Post, I had on the show one day with me, who said this is Alabama's Watergate.
Hmm.
Okay, it's not going away. It's going to always come up, and of course now they would probably be ready for retirement soon. Before anybody, but his wife, if nobody deserves anything, his wife deserves something from this city.
Okay.
What's the name? We ran him out of town. He left. He became a monk, a former representative. He's up in the Hubbard.
Okay.
Uh, did actually go to the House of Representatives and make a proclamation, to acknowledge that the city did something wrong.
Hmm.
It wasn't right. So I just want y'all to figure something out here, because You know, I mean, I've been here 34 years.
All right.
Hey,
Point well taken. Point well
yeah.
taken.
Okay. So anyway, so again, let's let that next time somebody says, "Well, it happened then," yeah, but we caught you. We got it didn't happen on my watch. Yeah, but you on the watch now. Okay.
Okay.
Now somebody wants to know what's your thoughts on the police review board?
I'm not in favor of police review board.
Why not?
And the reason why I don't want people looking over their shoulders, over their back, we don't have a military review board. We had a UMC, Uniform Code of Military Justice, that kind of, and we
UCMJ.
have, man, I've been gone a long time. I
I
forgot
know.
about all that stuff. Whatever. So we have those type things. I'm just not in favor of a police review board. And it's been coming around since I've been on the council from 2003. And it was coming. I think it's just a political thing. And then one of the things I said, if we were to do it, and a lot of people that advocate for it, if you're not on the board, then is it the right board? You have a police review board with the mayor and the city council.
But here's the problem. What I've seen in misunderstandings between police and citizens in the administrations is that we have a hard time trying to figure out what is legal and what is morally right.
Mhm.
What's morally right may not be the thing to do. What's legal may not be morally right either, but it's law. Police
Mhm.
get Police have to carry out the law. What we need is a body of people to get information from the city council privately, and they can come back and disseminate that information to us, because it's the misunderstandings that happen between us that causes riots and all this stuff, because we have to understand, um, what you think is wrong may be wrong morally, but
Mhm.
it is like abortion is
Mhm.
legal, but morally it's absolutely wrong. But it is not my job, it's not the police department job to worry about your morality, only the legality. And
True.
and I think we need a board that you guys could talk. This board should not have any power whatsoever except to get information,
Mhm.
and that can explain that information to the parties that are involved in the complaint against the city. I think we need we because even in the army we got, I mean, we got a whole chain of command, and even a lowest private can complain. I mean, he can go find out something. So why
And the
shouldn't we?
police department is a paramilitary department. They have a chain of command. They have a chain, and the review comes from the mayor's office and the city council.
Well, except we feel that that's the hen. I mean, that's the fox guarding the hen house. Okay, we gonna get into that one. But as of right now, though, you're not necessarily for giving them any restitution.
For a police review board,
No, no, for the actions that happened in December 2nd, 1975.
we had moved on past that.
Although
We moved on.
the man's still dead.
We moved on past. I say yes. The point well taken. I said I'm not in favor of a review board. Now don't try to twist my
No,
tongue.
right. Well, I'm not. I'm not. That's all. So would you consider giving the family something? The mother,
If
the
that
wife,
if something comes before me as a city council and I has to vote on it, I will make the best decision at that time. But right now I don't have anything.
Okay, now that right there, you slipped that, right. You slipped right out of that. So you think my ears ain't what they used to be? You slipped right out of that question.
I still got gift the gab.
Okay. Well, listen. What else is new going on out down city council? Anything we should know about? Any new laws that we should know about? This? Anything y'all planning on coming up with?
I mean, I'm just pleased with the process last night with the council when it comes down to the budget. Stand strong on what we need to do, and then to just talk about raises as we go forward. We had a 5% increase in the budget for all city employees. I know the fire department and the union was kind of disappointed that the 10% increase that they was asking for that didn't get approved by the council. I just think that process was just kind of flawed to approach. And nowhere in America. What the employees tell the CEO and the CFO, this is what I want and this is how I'm gonna get it. And so we moved on, and we got some things that's working. One of the big things that's coming, the city council, one of my subcommittees is working on what we call an Airbnb within the city. We have a lot of homes throughout this city. It's a business. Not everybody goes through Airbnb. Some people just leases or rent their short-term rentals out to people, and they throw big parties. But that's not what Airbnbs was meant to be used as. And but people are making a lot of money on it. You know, you can rent some of these places out $2,000 per weekend. You know, that's an $8,000 ticket. You know, so a lot of people that moves want to convert their property into Airbnbs because they can rent them out for families, and a lot of people doing parties. That's something that we got to get a handle on. Heard conversation last night. You know, we're moving right along, man. I think the city of Monmouth doing, you know, one of the biggest things we got coming up is healthcare here in the city. We got to figure out what we're gonna do to for Jackson Hospital. You know, that's something that's before the city council. I'm big on, you know, Jackson not only supports Montgomery, it supports Central Alabama, you know, so I think everybody should be around the table when it comes to paying your share. You know, people work in from all these other counties. Everybody eat off of Montgomery. And like I tell people all the time, everybody want to come to the barbecue, but no one want to kill a pig or they hog. And so, you know, Montgomery, you know, we can't afford to do all these things on our own. So we need help from the local community, our local delegation to help with some type of revenue generation stream to try to help, because there's a lot being asked from this council, this administration to support Montgomery, Whitewater, Airport, you know, so there's a lot and everybody gets to use it, but everybody want to ride off the back of the city of Montgomery.
What brings me to somebody asked me to ask you pad split. What's that?
Basically, what it was something new to me. You know, it came up from one of our young council persons that they went pad split is someone owns a property, and they're renting out rooms, and they have one common area where they use the bathrooms or the kitchen, but
Like
you
a day
rent
room,
out.
like a day
Yep,
room. Yeah,
like day room in the military, yes.
right.
And so people are renting that out, and they're saying it's taking down the fiber of a community when you have those different things. I don't see it to that point because it's just like you got a family of 8. You know, who to say who's gonna rent out the room, and then it's a college town, so they're working on that to come up with some kind of solution on the splash split. But we'll see where that go from there. It's in committee. It was a new thing with me.
Okay. Um, the gun control. I saw a
Hmm.
guy the other day. I've seen it a couple of times walking down the street with a gun long as his leg, and he
Hmm.
had it out. He had it by his side. Um, you and I both know about the Constitution.
Hmm.
You spent 20 years trying to protect it,
Hmm.
but something's wrong when a guy can walk down the street with a 12-inch rifle or something on his side and scaring the hell out of everybody. Uh,
Right.
Councilman Pruitt said, "Well, if nothing else, you need to have ID on you when you carry that weapon openly. So we can. So if we need to ask you find out who you are, then we need to do that. Um, why do you? And I think y'all got an opinion from the Attorney General's office, right?
Right. And the Councilman Ford opposes that. You know, it's in his committee, Public
Mm-hmm.
Safety Committee. I think everybody, you know, anybody that's walking the street should have some type of ID, and especially if you have a weapon. You know,
Right.
if you walking down with a weapon, a law enforcement should come up. Because, like you said, terrorize the neighborhood. Because for someone to do that, you never know what their mind thinking, what kind
You
of
don't.
state,
Right.
you know, state of their mental health. And so we put that out, you know, to try to vote it. Our law enforcement said it helps them. Sheriff Cunningham has said it will help them. You know, our state legislator signed into somewhere you can have open carry. We didn't think that was a good thing, not only in the city of Montgomery, within the state. All the law enforcement across the state came out against that, opposed it. But our legislator in their information mind said, hey, we're going to pass this. They was following this national agenda and they passed it. And so we put something in the city of Montgomery, say in the city of Montgomery on the streets, we want to require you to have a photo ID that identifies you. So our folks, if stop, you can run you in a
Mhm.
background check. My good friend, we put it in committee and it has been in committee to die. It won't come out of committee. We just gonna have to propose another ordinance because you know it's saying the enforcement. My thing is it's not for the local, we're the legislative branch, not to
Right.
enforce the law. We leave the enforcement part up to the police department or whoever we have assigned to do that. But we have to give them the tools that they're asking for, and I just think that's just um, it's just bad that we hadn't brought that out of committee to vote on it and to pass it. The attorney general opinion, it wasn't nothing that said we couldn't do it.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
So I thought they said you couldn't do it.
no,
Yeah.
it didn't say that. It didn't
Well, let me
say
ask
that. You know,
something.
it's saying it's just the state law says she has the right for open carry, but you
Right.
still should have a right to have an ID.
Right. Well, let me ask you something. You're the chairman. You can't make this thing come out of committee.
I can just bring up another ordinance. I can't make it out of committee. That's why it's in committee.
Okay, but let's not act like the committee is some secret passage. It's the people said the
Yeah.
people said
It's ways around. I can get it out of committee.
yeah.
It just have to stop some processes or some other things that come in.
Well,
That
let's
comes
do
in
that.
when you got to play the politics with that. But and I'm capable of doing that. So we're
Okay.
gonna get that back to the table.
Okay. One more thing. There are 25 cities in Alabama that has the commuter
Occupation
tax,
tax.
whatever you want to call it. Montgomery was discriminated against, and I have asked I have asked Mr. Reed Ingram
Mhm.
these questions. Why don't we sue the state of Alabama?
That's to be determined. We
Okay.
have some conversation about that. We just think we are being discriminated against. When you got to get people that wants to take this lawsuit. A lot of lawyers want something that's easy. We got to fight, so we have to position ourselves where we can fight. I just think it's wrong that you block Montgomery when you have 25 other cities within the city, and
That's right.
and then you represent portion of Montgomery. So what are you saying? I'm a city council person. I represent about 25,000 people. State representative might represent about 38. We all represent the same people, but to bring a guy that only has about 2,000 people in Montgomery County to block something on the local legislation, I just think that was absolutely wrong.
They did. They did. Listen, they gave Lawrence out of Lowndes County, and they
Mhm.
gave Chris Sales
Chris
out of
Sales.
so these two people were put in there to carry the water, so the local representative don't have to bear the blame. Okay,
Right.
I mean that's you talking about a perfect political move, but that's it.
And I'm firmly all politics are local, so I advocate for home rule within the city of Montgomery. We know what our citizens need. We know how we're
Mhm.
trying to move this city. So let the people. We was elected by the people. When we decide that this was the occupational tax, like I say, you got 67,000 people driving to this city daily to make a living and drive out. Using
Yeah.
our services, using everything, and we use our hospital, but you want to ride that on the back of the city. I just think that was wrong, and that's to be seen. That's not dead. We're looking at opportunities that we can get this before
Okay.
court.
Okay. Well, listen, for the most part down there, y'all doing a good. I'm running for city council, right? I just ain't figure out which place I'm gonna move to, so who I'm gonna run against.
Okay, I hear so much. You're running for House of Representatives. You're running for Congress. Just run for the border, man.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't so far away, I might be on it. But
Trust me.
Councilman
Yeah.
Calhoun, former, you made E8, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, you wasn't first art, but you just E8.
No.
Okay, well that's okay. You had less responsibility. Well, former Master Sergeant, Mr. C.C. Calhoun. Well, he's a retired Master Sergeant. We ain't former. Once in, always in. I'm matter of fact,
Always.
I'm going down to Fort Benning getting one of them new uniforms just so I can wear them on Veterans Day.
I can give you some of mine. I'm not wearing them no more.
Well, you didn't have no jump wings on yours.
No.
Okay, I'm just saying, it makes the uniform look like a whole lot better.
Yep.
Councilman, I appreciate you. Listen, let's do this at least once a month or so. Just
Hey, I commit to doing it once a month. We just pick the Wednesday after the council meeting. I commit to doing this with you once a month.
okay, appreciate it. Hey,
Uh,
thanks for your time, and and let's think about that Whitehurst thing. Okay.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you too. Appreciate it.
I mean,
All right, Councilman C.C. Calhoun is our I gotta get rid of him out of here. Oh yeah, I gotta get rid of you out of here. Sorry about that. Kick you out of the There you go. There you go. Now he's gone. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Well, we get a conversation with him. He has a gift for gab. He can slang it with the best of us. He remind me of his the mayor. You give them one question and they they can take that question and run with it. First of all, let me tell you about our new sponsor of our show, One Stop Wireless. Now, One Stop Wireless used to be Cosby Wireless on Madison Avenue, okay, down here on Madison Avenue, right next to the one Chinese place and all that stuff, where they are now located at 3445 Atlanta Highway, Suite B. That's if you go to the corner of Atlanta Highway and Atlanta Highway and Coliseum, there's a gas station right there. Their new store is located there. And listen, I've been doing business with Sharika over them for about 10 years. And they are good folks on it. So if you're looking for a phone, okay, or you got your phone, your phone, you're tired of the provider that you have already, she can actually put you on a different system, make it cheaper. They got things from anywhere from $60 to $45 a month, or $30 a month, in order so you can get your new cell phone. Okay, so you need to go. It's called One Stop Wireless. Okay, and it used to be Cosby right here on. They used to be right here on what's in that street here? Madison Avenue, right there. And I'm just telling you that I've done business with a lot of people in this town, and normally small businesses don't hold a key, don't hold a nickel to the big guys when it comes to pricing and service. They are absolutely outstanding. They're better than I've been with Verizon. I've been with T-Mobile. I've been with all these big companies. You know, and most of the people you talk to, you can't even understand them anyway, because they keep hiring people from overseas. They got local people that works down here at One Stop Wireless, okay, on Atlanta Highway, right there, that Shell gas station, right on the side of the Shell gas station, which is right by on Atlanta Highway and Coliseum. Anyway, but here's the number. Write this number down. The number is 334-320-2988. 334-320-2988. I'm gonna get a video for this in a little bit here and put it on so y'all can actually see the place. So make sure you give them a call. They'll tell you heard about her on the show. If you don't need a phone right now, just call them and tell them that as soon as you need one, you're gonna come there. Okay. One Stop Wireless. It used to be called Cosby Wireless. Now it's a new name, same owner, but One Stop Wireless. Okay. 3445 Atlanta Highway, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and that Coliseum right there. Yeah, right there on that gas station, that Shell gas station right there. I mean, let's help them out. Help some. It's not enough to talk about supporting small businesses. We got to actually do it. Okay, we got to actually do it. We got to actually help our small business people, because at the end of the day, when corporations decide to leave, like Cumulus stuck it to me, they don't care nothing about you. They don't care about you. But local folks who live next to us, live in the same city with us, try to survive it the same way you do. They hire local people, they hire your kids and stuff like that who may need a job. Let's help Shamika out. And again, it's called One Stop Wireless, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway. It's the address is 3445 Atlanta Highway, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum. It is it's the Shell gas station right there. It's a nice little place. They do good work, and the prices are reasonable for everything they do. I'm just telling you, it's been a pleasure doing business with her. Okay, One Stop Wireless. That number again is 334-320-2988. Okay, so make sure I put that up there. One Stop Wireless, WIRELESS, right there. And what's that address again? That address is again 3445 ATL SUITB. But you can see it. You don't have to look at the suite. It they're all on the first floor. You can't miss them. Okay, you really cannot miss them. Good people. And that number again is 334. You can text. I think that's a cell phone. 320 2988. Okay, so 2988. And please we have to stop. We have to start doing business with local folks, because at the end of the day, when it all comes down, we need to help one another. Hey, that's what. Anyway, that's an ATL. I don't know where that Y came from. Atlanta Highway. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's take care of that. So it's One Stop Wireless, 3445 Atlanta Highway, Suite B. But call the number 334-320-2988. Call the number. I'm telling you, they got some great deals. They got Androids. They got Apple iPhones. They got Motorola phone, and I think you can actually get the Pixel. And if she does not have it, she'll get it in a matter of probably in between 24 and 72 hours. She'll have it. So, okay, just give them a call. Okay, help them out. Let's do business with local folks, because at the end of the day, when the big corporations decide to leave one day because they say we got all y'all's money that we need, we're gonna go someplace. The only people gonna be left back to help us are the local businessmen. Okay, I'm just telling you. So One Stop Wireless, 3445 Atlanta Highway. Might as well take that down there. But again, it's right on the corner. It's right on the corner of what's that? Atlanta Highway, at that Shell station, Atlanta Highway and Coliseum. Okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, so if you need a phone, help them. They're really, really, really good people. Okay, and the nice thing about this, on the podcast, we're only going to take one. We're only going to do uh, 4 advertisers, just 4, because I don't have people when they want to talk, they want to talk. They don't want to hear me going on and on and on and on and on. But I do think we do need to help some of our local small businesses. So I'm only going to take 4. So if she's my first one. I'm only going to take 3 more to advertise on this in this space right here. Okay. So again, welcome as one of our charter sponsors, One Stop Wireless. Again, 3445 Atlanta Highway. But more importantly, I got it wrong on the thing right there. It's supposed to be Atlanta Highway. Okay. Man, how did I mess that up? Okay. Man, you know what I'm saying. I wasn't looking at it. I thought I could type without anyway, there's the number. 320-2988. 320-2988. And again, it is One Stop Wireless. 1 STOP WIRELES. Okay. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there thinking, right? I shouldn't be thinking. Okay, well. Okay, I am. All righty then. So, did I get it up there? Did it go back up there? Oh, there it is right there. Okay, there we go. There you go. So give them a call. You get and they fix phones too. They fix phones. They reprogram phones for you if, in fact, you can't figure out how to get it on. And you can take your phone with them. They'll copy your data from one phone to the other, or tell you how to do that. How to do that. So hey, we good. All right. One Stop Wireless. Again, that number is 320-2988. They're located right at the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum, right there, that Shell gas station down there. Okay, so go down there. If nothing else, call her up, let her know that you heard about her on the show, so hopefully we can get some more advertising. I'm only taking 3 more. That's we're not gonna have a whole show full of advertisement like somebody else in this town I know. We're just gonna have 3, 4, and that's it. Okay, 1 per day. Okay, one advertiser per day. So that's it. Okay, and so she's a lucky one. She's trusting us with her advertising needs. She could have went someplace else, but she came over here because she listened to me also. I appreciate that. Okay, and her name is Sharika. So just give her a call. 320-2988. Let's talk about a couple other things too. I had a bunch of other stuff on this thing too. We're still killing folks around here. I thought we gave out a break for a while, but we seem to still be doing it. I think I heard something the other day. Yesterday, somebody else got killed. Okay. Oh, man, what's the world coming to? I just don't know. What's the world coming to? Montgomery County Commission, we got a $253 million budget. Montgomery County Commission has a $156 million budget for 2026. What do they need all that money for? Really, what do they need all that money for? I don't know. And now women are getting just as bad as men are. Okay, when it comes to crime. Okay, they're just getting just as bad. Authorities say that Wendy Mitchell Struthers was charged with drug trafficking and promoting prison contraband after correction officers discovered 77 grams of synthetic, and I don't know how to pronounce this word, cathinas, CATHI. Yeah, I don't know what that word is. Y'all can figure that word. concealed inside of her what? No, can't be. Okay, can't be. That just can't. No, that can't be. Anyway, yeah, well, I think it was a Democrat. Yeah, yeah. She looks like a Democrat. I mean, she really does. But this is the stuff that she this is the stuff. How you pronounce that word? And 1.7 grams of man. Where did these things come from? Suboxone, Suboxone, or whatever, concealed inside her pants while she was visiting the facility. Do they just not know that these people are looking for you to bring stuff in there? So now I got the guards doing it. I got people bring. I mean, listen. If you wanted to go to jail, just go down to the courtroom and smack the judge. Okay, and you will be on your way. You don't even have to go through all this putting stuff inside your pants and all that stuff. If you just like jail that much, prison that much, and you just gotta go, well, just go downtown or call the police, so you how to smack him. Whatever, or just go outside and walk down the street with a bag of marijuana. If you just gotta go to, if you just want to see what it feels like, that's a good way to do it. Okay, I don't know why you people think that they don't know all the tricks of the trade. They know. They know. Okay. Even if you put it up inside you now, they got a machine that can see inside you. Okay. They know the difference between a penis and a bag of dope. Okay. They know. Okay. They can tell. Man, what's going on with you? Oh, anyway, let me leave that alone. Okay. I mean, brother said, you ain't packing that much, brother. So you got to have more down there than that. Okay, unless your name is Long Dong Kong. I mean, we know that's a bag of dope in there. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to change your modus operandi. Okay, okay. How do you pronounce that name, Dr. Joe? Catherine's or Cath? Well, Cathinonis, 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 Cathinonis. Anyway, whatever it is, it's some kind of drug I never heard of before. And it's, since I don't really take drugs, except I leave every once in a while, I'm glad I really don't know all the names of these drugs that they got out there, because they got too many for me. I can't handle it. Anyway, so much for that. So we will and one of the things I wanted to get into today, and we'll get into it tomorrow, my last day. And I think I got one more city council tomorrow, and that's going to be, I believe I'm going to have Arande Mitchell on, because Arande Mitchell did something last night that I thought that he don't normally do, and that is he went against a business. And normally, normally he would he'd be pro business. So there must be something there that I'm just not made aware of. Okay, another teacher. This one in Greenville, South Carolina, a high school teacher. Um, uh, uh, Yeah, I got you. I imagine, brother. Yeah, go ahead, Big C. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. But there's another teacher. Let's see. Wait a minute. Now. I want you to see what all these people got in common. Okay. Let's see. Share the screen. Okay. Share a screen. Okay. Let's see that. What is that? The Montgomery on the window here. Yeah, this guy right here. Okay. Share this. Okay. This guy right here. He is. Listen, now I don't want to go here because I don't normally go here. But how come it's always the white liberals, okay, who want tolerance and understanding from everybody else, but they don't want to be tolerant or understanding? I just I don't get it. I think we call that hypocrisy. Okay, he's no longer employed. Okay, because they put in this, he had thoughts and prayers with his children, but in my eyes, America became great. He said America became greater today because of they killed him. They killed Mr. Kirk, Charlie Kirk. I mean, is he a teacher? Yeah, he's a high school teacher too in South Carolina. Is out for a job now. Again, I do believe they got a right to say it. You have a right to be stupid. But again, and I'm gonna look, and tomorrow I'll have that case that we were talking about the about the these people are going to get their job back. Okay, I mean, if the Supreme Court has already ruled on this, these people will get their job back. Okay, I mean, I'm not even worried about it now. They're going to get their jobs back. You just can't fire people because you have a predilection to, you have free speech. You have a right to say stupid things if you need to, if you want to. You got a right to say stupid things. Okay, you got a right to do that. You even got a right to be stupid. Okay, you got a right to that. You just do. We may not like it. We don't like it. But you have a right to say stupid things. Okay, you just do. Anyway, my time is up. I gotta go, but we will. Thank you. I'll be playing this show later on today, because I know my fans out there want me to play it again. And that's the longest conversation I've ever had with CC Calhoun, and it was pretty deep. He kind of let it go, but he did. Have a great day, everybody. And remember, it is not the falling down that gives you strength. It is getting up every time you do. Keep getting up. We'll see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace, every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight in